Can you tell us what your name is, please?
Možeš li nam reći svoje ime?
Herak,
What was the last name?
Prezime?
Herak,
And first name?
Borislav.
And where were you born, Mr. Herak?
Gdje si rođen?
Sarajevo, Pofalić, Novo Sarajevo.
I was born in Sarajevo, in Pofalić.
Did you spend your whole life in Sarajevo?
Jesi li cijeli život bio u Sarajevu?
Da, cijeli život.
Whole life.
Do your family members still live in Sarajevo?
Da li članovi tvoje porodice još uvijek žive u Sarajevu?
Samo otac i tetka, mami i tetka.
My father and my aunt.
And how old are you, Mr. Herak?
Koliko ti godina?
22.
I'm 22.
Was there a period before the war that you left Sarajevo?
Jesi li prije rata u jednom periodu napustio Sarajevo? I haven't.
Did you leave the center of the city of Sarajevo and go towards the mountains around Sarajevo?
Jesi li odlazio iz grada i išao u planine, išao? Jesi li napustio Pofaliće i prešao negdje drugo da živiš ili da se boriš?
Da, otišao sam u Ilidza.
Yes, I've left a place where I used to live and went to Ilidza.
And why did you go to Ilidza?
Zašto si išao u Ilidza?
Dolazi mi rođak koji je sad na ovoj strani i govorio da ćemo upiti ovdje, da moram poveći, da se zaraditi, da će biti užas u gradu. Da ako ostanem da ću biti i dalje srpski, da ću biti Srbi otkaz, moram poveći.
My cousin who used to live there would come and tell me that there will be war soon and if I stay in Sarajevo that I'll be killed, or if I don't get killed by Muslims that I'll get killed by the Serbs because they'll treat me as a traitor.
Did he explain why they would treat you as a traitor if you stayed?
Je li ti objasnio zašto bi te Srbi smatrali izdajnikom ako ostaneš?
Zato što je možda prešlo na ovu stranu da se borim. Da bi ostao u kući, onda od nas smatra da sam izdajnik. Pošto je Karađić rekao, kogod ostane, on je izdajnik i neprijatelj njegove države.
If I stay, I could join the Bosnian army, or just if I stay, I'm a traitor for that because Karadzic himself said that whoever doesn't join the Serb army is a traitor.
When you went to, what was the name of the place, Ilidza? Ilidza. Did you see other people that you had grown up with in Sarajevo who also left for the same reasons?
Kada si otišao u Ilidza, da li si vidio ljude sa kojima si živio u Sarajevu ili odrastao, koji su također napustili i otišli u Ilidza?
Sam ovaj komšija, možete je bio Dragičić Ranko.
Only my neighbor, Dragičević Ranko.
And when you finally got to Ilidza, how did you make a connection so that you could join the Serbian forces?
Kada si došao u Ilidza, kako si uspostavio kontakt da se uključiš u srpsku vojsku?
Otišao sam kod Uja, tamo je od majka rođena. Kod njega čim sam došao, on mi rekao da moram uzeti pušku, da ću dobiti u kuću i da dobijati sledovanje od vojske. Inače ne mogu da se hraniti, a ne da se gdje vratiti. To nisam mogao nalaći.
My mother was born in Ilidza, so when I went there, I go to see my uncle, and he told me that I would be given a house and I would be given a salary from the Serb army, that I had to join them. Otherwise, I couldn't live there and I couldn't go back to Sarajevo.
Mm-hmm. And whose house did they give you when you went there?
Čiju su ti kuću dali kada si bio tamo?
Pa vikend sam dao muslimansku.
It was a Muslim
Koja je već
house,
bila opljačkana, već je sve bilo
which
opljačkano.
was already robbed and looted.
Mm-hmm. And when you joined the Serbian forces, did you join as a soldier or an officer?
Kada si se prijavio u srpsku vojsku, jesi li bio vojnik, običan redov ili si imao neki čin?
Vojnik.
I was a soldier.
Was there training involved, being a soldier in the Serbian forces?
Jesi li morao proći neke vježbe, neku obuku ili...
Da, morao sam obuku da koljem svin.
I was trained there. I was trained to slaughter pigs.
Did they tell you why you were fighting as a Serbian soldier against the people of Sarajevo?
Jesu ti rekli zašto se ti kao srpski vojnik borio protiv ljudi iz Sarajeva?
Rekli samo da se borimo protiv muslimana i da oni hoće ovaj rat, da u stvari hoćemo Islamsku republiku, da mi nećemo i da nećemo pod njihovu kontrolu, da hoćemo svoju državu i samo da bude srpska ta država.
I was told that this was started by Muslims because they wanted a fundamentalist state and that we Serbs didn't want to live in such a state, so we had to fight to form a Serb state.
And based on your previous years of living with the Muslims here in Sarajevo, did you believe that to be true?
Na osnovu godina koje si proživio u Sarajevu sa muslimanima, jesi li vjerovao da je to istina?
Nisam.
I didn't.
You didn't believe it.
Nisi vjerovao.
Nisam. Pošto je već država stvorena, je bio mir.
Jesi ili nisi?
Nisam.
No, I didn't believe it.
When you were killing pigs as a enlistee into the Serbian army, what was the purpose of you killing the pigs?
Kada su te vodili da kolješ svinje, koja je svrha toga bila? Zašto su te vodili da to radiš?
Da kasnije mogu ljude hvatiti. Ako nam ne budemo pušaka i malo uzastru.
So to be able to kill people if we don't have guns.
After you got done with your training in the Serbian forces, where was the first place that you actually saw combat?
Kada si završio obuku u srpskoj vojsci, koje je prvo mjesto gdje si bio u borbi?
Bio sam na Dragači, to je linija, u rovu.
I was in trenches on the front line in Dragača.
And were there periods of time when you left the trenches for rest, to eat, to sleep, for enjoyment?
Jesi li napuštao rovove da bi spavao, da bi jeo, da bi se zabavljao?
Samo kad završi se smjena.
When my shift was over.
Što 24 sata smo držali i 24 dnara.
We had 24-hour shift, 24 hours on the front line in trenches and then 24 hours free.
And where would you go? On the 24 hours that you had free, where would you go?
Šta si radio u ta 24 sata koja si bio slobodan?
Spavao u 12.
I was resting and sleeping.
Was there any time that you along with other Serbian forces went into Muslim villages in an effort to cleanse those villages?
Jesi li ikada sa ostalim srpskim vojnicima išao u muslimanska sela da bi vršio etničko čišćenje?
Ja sam kad sam išao Ahatović.
I did when I went to Ahatović.
And were the villages that you went into, did you use the term cleansing?
Sela u koja si išao, da li ste koristili izraz čišćenje ili neki drugi?
Čišćenje. Da očistimo skroz selo, da nema nikoga tu. Da to samo bude srpska ta opština, da pripada srpskoj.
Yes, we use the term cleansing. The purpose was to go and to cleanse the place, to clean the place so that nobody lives there and so that it becomes a part of Serbian municipality.
Can you explain what it was like for you the first time that you went into the first village and the cleansing started and you took part in the cleansing?
Možeš li objasniti kako se ti osjećao kada si prvi put išao da vršiš čišćenje, kada se to počelo dešavati i kada si ti učestvovao u tome?
morao sam ići, pošto je naređenje bilo. Brat Hadžić je naredio da se selo mora očiti skroz.
I had to go because that was an order. Ratko Hadžić gave an order that that village had to be cleansed.
Da ne bude tu žive duše i da kuće sve moraju popaliti, da se ne mogu kasnije vratiti, kosti ne živi.
The order was to kill everybody and to burn all the houses so that if somebody survives, has nowhere to go back.
Nisam mogao da odustanem, pošto je naređenje, ali ako se odbije, napravo da ubije.
I couldn't give
Tako je
up.
skazno bilo.
I couldn't give up or refuse because the order was that everybody had to do it, and if I would refuse to carry out the order, they would kill me.
And when you say that the order was to kill everybody, that means men, women, children, babies?
Naređenje je bilo ubiti sve, znači žene, djecu, muškarce.
Da.
Yes.
Did you personally take part in the killing?
Jesi li ti lično učestvovao u ubijanju?
Yes.
I did.
And explain what the events when you went into the village with the Serbian military and the cleansing started. Explain exactly what you did from your own perspective.
Kada si ušao u selo i kada ste započeli čišćenje, objasni šta se dešavalo i šta se ti lično radi.
Počelo se izvati s kuća i ubijati koji je bio uopćan. I čiste selo. Bilo je odreda Šešeljova iz Srbije, armije bivše na Izraelovca i internetni vod Semzovca i Onoći, koji su išli i pali kuće. I ostali smo išli u ubijali.
We were taking people out of their houses and killing them. There were some platoons from the JNA. They came from Railovac military, Railovac army barracks and Semizovac, and some Šešelj forces. They were burning houses and we were killing people.
So you're saying that the Yugoslav National Army also took part in the cleansing procedures at that time?
Znači ti kažeš da je Jugoslovenska narodna armija, da su oni učestvovali u etničkom čišćenju, da su oni...
And when you say Šešelj, you mean the leader of the Chetnik division?
Na Šešelja misli Šešelja iz Srbije, vođa četničkog pokreta.
Da, njegovi bojovnici, Šešelj.
Yes, those were his
Svi
forces.
su imali vedenice, udani, brade, one šubore i kokarne.
They all had fur hats with the Serbian
Emblem.
on them and beards.
Why was it that they had the beards?
Zašto su imali brade?
Takvi su.
They are like that.
When you were doing the killing, how was the killing done? Was it done with a gun? Was it done with a knife?
Kada ste ubijali, da li ste ih ubijali puškama ili ste ih noževima ubijali?
Puška.
We were doing it by guns.
Did you see people killing with knives also?
Jesi li vidio da su neki ubijali noževima?
Da, vidio sam ovo jednog koji je ubio.
Yes, I saw one man killing with knife.
What was the attitude of the Serbian forces who were doing the killing? How did they express themselves when they were killing? Did they say anything? Did they yell anything?
Kakav je bio stav srpskih snaga kada su ubijali? Da li su nešto govorili, da li su nešto vikali?
Samo su psovali. To su išli malo stariji ljudi.
They were swearing, mostly elderly people.
They were swearing at elderly people?
Jel kažeš da su psovali na starije ljude ili su stariji ljudi?
Stariji ljudi psovali Srbi, psovali s malo materiju.
No, elderly Serbs who were in the Serb army were swearing at Muslims they were killing.
And what would they say to the Muslims they were killing?
Šta su govorili?
Matrici.
It's okay.
They were swearing at the Muslims. Do you want that up there?
It's okay. After that first incident of cleansing the village, first of all, can you tell me, in that first village, how many people you personally killed?
Možeš li mi reći u tom prvom selu u kome ste provodili etničko čišćenje, koliko ljudi si ti lično ubio?
12.
I killed 12 people.
And those people, can you explain if they are men, women, or children?
Možeš li objasniti su to bili muškarci, žene, djeca?
Muškarci, 2 žene, 2 mlađa, 2 starija i 2 žene. Još stariji dane i 2 Srba.
Možeš li još jednom ponoviti? 2 žene, 2 starija muškarca, 2 mlađa muškarca, to je 6.
I 2 nane.
I killed 2 elderly men, 2 younger men, 2 women, 2 grannies.
Bilo je još 3 djece, ali nisam djecu ubio.
And 2 Serbs. And there were some children, I didn't kill them.
Why did you kill the Serbs in the village?
Zašto si ubio Srbe?
Ulazili smo u kuću, on su pokazali lične karte. Već sam bio u piću, da smo rakije pili. Nisam im vjerovao a vidio sam pušku tu, bila je pred vrata odmah. I govorili za Srbi, da je ne ubijamo, da nisam vjerovao i spalio sam rafal u glavu bez dvoma i kasnije tek kad sam otišao udalio kacinata, sušare, ubio sam meso. Sam vidio šta je, vraćam se, uzmem ličnu kartu i onda tek vidim da se...
When we got to their houses, I was already drunk because we were drinking before. So they were showing me their ID cards, saying that they were Serbs and asking me not to kill them. But I didn't believe them that they were Serbs, and I saw a gun. So I fired at them, at their heads, and killed them both. Only later on I found out that they really were Serbs.
Were the other soldiers that you were with also drunk? Had they also been drinking before you went into the village?
Jesu li ostali vojnici koji su bili s tobom bili već pijani kada ste došli u selo? Jeste li svi pili prije nego što ste krenuli?
Da smo ušli u selo, onda smo našli rakije i počeli piti.
When we got into the village, we found some alcohol, some spirit, and then we were drinking.
Before you killed the people that day in the village, did they ever say to you not to kill them? Were they crying? What was the reaction of the Muslim people that you were killing at the time?
Ljudi koji su ubio taj dan u selu, jesu li ti se obraćali prije nego što si ih ubio? Jesu li plakali, jesu li molili da ih ne ubijaš? Kakva je bila njihova reakcija?
Mi samo smo pisali i pobili. To je brzo išlo.
It was all very quick. We would take them out and kill them.
Would they walk out of the house on their own, or did you pull them out of their house?
Jesu li sami izlazili iz kuće ili ste ih vi izvlačili iz kuće?
Izvodili.
We were taking them out of the house.
How did you take them out?
Kako ste ih izvodili?
Krenuli pušku i rekli mu zastavan.
We would point a gun at them and order them to go out.
So that was the very first time that you had killed people in this ethnic cleansing.
Znači, to je bio prvi put da si ti ubio ljude u okviru ovog etničkog čišćenja.
No.
Yes.
And afterwards, was there any feeling on your part? Did you feel any remorse?
Nakon toga jesi li ti šta osjećao, jesi li imao kajanje ili šta?
Bilo mi je žao. ali nisam smio nikome požaliti, nikome od nas ispod kukaca i šta ja znam dalje kakav sa mnom bio postupak.
I felt sorry, but I couldn't talk to anyone because they would think that I'm a coward and that would provoke some other things, so I couldn't talk to anyone about that.
From what you saw, what was the reaction of the other soldiers that were with you killing the people?
Na osnovu onoga što si ti vidio, kakva je bila reakcija drugih vojnika koji su isto ubijali ljude?
Neki su bili veseli. Prijedno Šeširevci, on su pjevali četničke pjesme.
Some were cheerful, mostly Sheshav's forces, they were singing Chetnik songs.
What were the Chetnik songs that they were singing? In a simplified way, what did the songs say?
Pojednostavljeno, šta su te pjesme koje su oni pjevali, šta su te pjesme govorile?
Po Drugom svjetskom ratom ubijali, kako se, šta ja znam, Ustaše, Njemci, ubijali Srbinu, podsjeci logorima i to mi je, kao sam sad svijetim.
They were saying about revenge, about Second World War when Germans and Ustaše, Croat irregular forces, when they were killing the Serbs and how they are taking revenge now.
During that time, but first, so you weren't with Šešel's forces, you weren't with the Yugoslav National Army forces. What was the exact brigade that you were with?
Znači ti nisi bio sa Šešeljevcima, niti si bio sa ovimi iz Slovenske narodne armije. U kojoj si tačno ti jedinici bio?
Ja sam pošto sam bio u selu Bioče, nas je bilo 15 iz tog sela, gdje sam ja inače čuo rove, tada odrijedili smo se i odrijedili smo se i išli u to selo.
There was 15 of us coming from village Bioča where we were in trenches. We were ordered to go to Ahatović.
And what was there a brigade number?
Je li to bila brigada, jedinica?
Vod,
Čega? Srpske vojske? Čega?
da, srpske vojske.
That was a platoon of Serbian army.
Mm-hmm. Did you witness during that incident in the first village any raping of any women?
Tada u Ahatovićima, da li si prisustvovao, da li znaš da su vršena silovanja?
Nisam sam vidio očima kad je 150 ljudi ubijeli. Armija što je ubila i Šešeljevci. Tu zarobili su i pobili onim puškim cvijestom.
No, I haven't seen any rapes taking place. I did see 150 people being killed by JNA and Šešelj's forces.
That was in that first village.
To je bilo u Ahatovićima, u tom prvom selu. Yes.
Kasnije su vodili u Teljevo, tamo iskopana jama bila, 10 sa 5 metara. I sve dejcevi, oni vojni, koji su bacali tijela i koji je bio ranjen, pucali su.
Later they took the bodies to Reljevo, where there was a mass grave, 10 by 5. They were dumping bodies into the grave, and those who were injured were shot dead.
Before they dumped the bodies, did they rob anything from the civilians? Gold, rings, money, anything?
Prije nego što su tijela ta odnijeli i bacili u tu raku, da li su uzimali zlato i prstenje, vrijednosne satove?
Ne znam. Tada su kamione potrpali su i krenuli su.
I wouldn't know because I saw them putting bodies onto trucks to take them there.
Wasn't it a normal practice, though, after killing the people, to take the money and the rings and the gold teeth from them?
Je li to inače bila praksa da se nakon što se ubiju ljudi uzme novac, zlato, zubi zlatni?
To mi nismo radili. To je oni šešelju crtali, parkanice.
We were not doing that. Šešelj's forces or Arkan's forces, maybe.
At any time during your whole period as a Serbian irregular, did you ever witness people from Šešelj's forces or Arkan's forces cutting pieces of flesh off of people's bodies?
Za svo vrijeme koliko ste bio u srpskoj vojsci, jesi li ikada prisustvovao kada bi Šešeljovci ili Arkanovci odsjecali komade tijela od ljudi koje su ubijali?
Sam čuo priče, da su ovi pričali, to su bili sa njima, da su radili užasne stvari.
I myself never witnessed it, but I've heard stories from people who were with them that they were doing horrible things.
Did you ever hear of those forces tasting the flesh after they would cut it off of the body?
Jesi li ikada čuo priče o tome da su imali običaj jesti meso nakon što su odsjecali sa ljudi koji su ubili? I never did.
What was the next incident that you were involved in with killing people in villages?
Šta je bilo sljedeće nakon Ahmedovića? Gdje si poslije toga išao?
U Bogošću. To sam dobio, istirao sam me iz Iljaša. Bio sam napio i pucao po gradu dole i ranjen 2-3 Srba i bio odležen u zatvor i napisao potom da moram taj, više nema mjesta. Morao sam otići jer sam Bogošću.
Then I went to Bogošća because one night in Iljaš I got drunk and started shooting and injured a couple of Serbs. I was put in prison, and when I was released, I had a document saying that I couldn't stay there any longer, so I had to go to Bogošća.
And what did you do there?
Šta si radio u Bogošći?
Bio sam gore čuo liniju. Isto.
I was a soldier on the front line.
Išao 3 puta na Žuč, kao ispred noći.
3 times I was sent to Žuč as a reinforcement.
Was there cleansing of villages in that area also?
Jeste li tamo vršili etničko čišćenje?
Ja nisam, to je prije, dok sam još bio u Sarajevu, izvršeno Kijevčima i Žuči.
I myself haven't because it was already done.
Nijedna kuća nije čitala, sve spopaljeno.
It was already done while I still was in Sarajevo. All the houses were already destroyed and ethnical cleansing has already been done.
And as far as the raping of civilians, how did you first become involved in that?
Kako si prvi put došao u situaciju da vršiš silovanje?
Naredio mi je kapetan, koji je bio tu komandant. To mi je bio samostalna četa. Pripadali smo romanijskom korpusu. I on je naredio nama, što nas tu ubralo 150, da ćemo ići u ženski zatvor s njom u Bogošću i da ćemo tu silovati djevojke i da je to naređenje, da se ne smije odbijati, da će nam to stvarati moral, da se lakše borimo i tako.
My unit was part of Romania Corps, and there was about 150 of us, and we were ordered by our commander to go to women prison, Sonja, in Bogošća, and we were ordered to rape women there because they said it was good for our morale.
And how many soldiers, Serbian irregulars, took part in this?
Koliko je vojnika učestvovalo u tome?
Skoro svi.
Almost all of us.
I bilo je tu i iz Bogošće i vojne policije, vojske.
Some soldiers from
To sam
Bogošća.
viđao one dajce i one pizgale, džipe.
some soldiers from Bogosća as well, and some members of military police from Bogosća also took part in it.
How many, can you say approximately how many in total took part?
Možeš li otprilike reći koliki broj je učestvovao, koliki broj ljudi je učestvovao u tome?
Naše 4, 120.
About 120 people from my unit.
And how many women were there being raped?
A koliko je žena bilo tamo koje su bivale silovane?
60.
There was 60 women.
Did the women, how did the women react? Did the women say things to you? Did they ask you not to rape them?
Kako su žene reagovale? Da li su molile da ih ne silujete?
Yes.
They didn't.
Afterwards, after you had, you and your other irregular forces had raped, was your morale better as your officer told you it would be?
Nakon što ste silovali te žene, ti ljudi iz tvoje jedinice, da li je moral bio bolji kao što je vaš komandir rekao?
Nije, isto je bio, pošto niko nije napadao tu, kad se linija pokretala ništa.
It was the same. The front line was firm and stable, and nothing was happening. Nobody was attacking us.
Yeah, but your officer told you your morale would be better if you raped the women.
Ali vaš komandir vam je rekao da će vam moral porasti, da ćete imati više morala ako budete silovali žene. Da li bi ti rekao da je to bio slučaj?
Opet njemu naredio vrhovna komanda Srbije, Karažić, koji o tom inače upravlja. To sada glavo upravlja o tom.
He himself, our commander,
to je naredio radi osjeti, naredio radi morala, pošto mi smo išli na ispomoć, na žuč, pogleda se dvojice. Inače, kad je bilo rad morala, ne bi jedan pobjeg.
He himself, our commander, was ordered by Karadzic to order us to do that. I think it was revenge, not for morale. Two soldiers were killed when we were fighting on Žuč. I think it was revenge.
Can you explain what the women were like that you raped? Can you explain what their ages were?
Možeš li nam nešto reći o ženama koje ste silovali, godištima?
Prilično 20 do 25 godina.
They were mostly 20 to 25 years old.
And were they kept there permanently? Or were the women that you had raped, were they forced to stay in this place all the time? Were other people also raped them?
Žene koje si ti silovao i koje ste vi silovali, da li su one stalno držane tu, da li su ih i drugi silovali?
Ne znam.
I don't know.
And afterwards, what were the other irregular soldiers that you were with the Serbian forces? What were they saying about what they had just done as a way of building their morale?
Nakon toga, šta su drugi vojnici koji su bili s tobom govorili o tome što su radili u tim silovanjima?
Prilično koji su bili vještani, njima je bilo zdravo. Pošto znamo, oni mrtvi Simane. Sve što pričali, on su mene ubili za vrijeme Drugog svjetskog rata, džeda, on rekao hujak. Sad kaže, ja se baš mogu osvijetiti sada na ovaj način.
Local Serbs, those who were from Bogosća, mostly happy because of that. They would say that during the Second World War, some members of their family were killed by Muslims, and they hated Muslims, and they thought it was a way of getting revenge.
Did you ever come across permanent camps where women were kept for the purpose of having Serbian irregulars rape them?
Jesi li ikada naišao na neki kamp, na neki zatvor u kome su žene trajno držane da bi bile silovane od strane srpske vojske i srpskih paravojnih formacija?
Samo je zatvor Boguć.
Only this one, the camp in Bogušća.
You've been saying that you were ordered to do these things, and that's why you did them. Are you aware that there's been people in the past who have tried to say the same thing as reasons for doing bad things during war?
Kažeš da ti je bilo naređeno da to uradiš i da si to zato uradio. Jesi li svjestan da je i prije i u drugim ratovima bivalo tako da su bili ljudi koji su izdavali naređenja da se nešto uradi?
Zbog filmova u Drugom svjetskom ratu.
Only what I saw in the movies from the Second World War.
When you were a soldier, you were doing these things because you were ordered to do them. Is there anything that your commanding officer would have told you to do that you would have refused to do?
Kao vojnik ti si izvršavao naređenja i radio to što ti je rečeno. Da li postoji nešto što ti je mogao tvoj komandir narediti da bi ti odbio?
Do you regret at all? Do you see that in leaving Sarajevo and going to join the Serbian forces in the mountains, that was a changing point in your life? Do you believe that was the point in which your life changed?
Da li se kaješ, da li misliš da kada se odlučio da napustiš Sarajevo i da se priključiš srpskoj vojsci, da je to bila prekretnica u tvom životu?
Kad sam odšao, sam mi ujak rekao da moram tu kuću uzeti, da ću morat, da će stvar Sarajevo pasti za nekoliko dana i da moram se otići tu kuću i da se moram privati te puške. Da je bilo krivo. Vidim da me već istjerava iz svoje kuće, onda sam se tek shvatio.
When I left Sarajevo and when I was told by my uncle that I had to take a house and that I had to become a soldier and that Sarajevo was about to fall, I regretted leaving Sarajevo, but it was too late, I couldn't go back.
If you were to do it again, would you stay or would you leave?
Kada bi ponovo imao priliku da doneseš tu odluku, da li bi otišao ili bi ostao u Sarajevu?
Ostao bi u srcu.
I would stay in Sarajevo with my father.
As we're sitting here doing this interview, there's guns being fired outside and there's bombs being exploded by Serbian irregulars in the mountains. Do you see that do you believe that now they are doing this in a way to defend somehow Sarajevo, or is it an act of aggression, do you think?
Dok sjedimo ovdje i radimo ovaj intervju, čuju se eksplozije granata i čuje se pucanje izvana. Da li sada vjeruješ da sve što rade srpske paravojne formacije sa planina što pucaju i granatiraju grad, da je to odbrana Sarajeva ili je to agresija?
To je napad na Sarajevo. da se uništi jedan grad i stanovništvo je bili Srbi, Muslimani, Hrvati, sredolište.
It's an attack on Sarajevo. It's an attempt to destroy a city and all the citizens, Muslims, Serbs, Croats, whoever's left.
How did you manage to come into the hands of the Bosnian forces? How were you captured?
Kako si zarobljen, kako se desilo to da si pao u ruke bosanskih snaga?
Dobio sam isto otkaz iz Ulića, istražio sam. Odležao sam bio 7 dana zatvora i otišao sam kapitanu, mu dao potvrdu. I pitao sam kuda se ide, nisam znao put za Ilidžu. Pošto mi je dole majka, htio sam dole. I on mi je rekao da držimo stup i Marin dvor, mogu preko stupa. Krenuo sam na stup i zamolio Damjanovića, pošto ima auto da me odbaci do prije barikade. Pošto on dalje ne smije nije njegov golf ukrade. I došli smo kod Bož pumpi u Relovicu i tu smo otišli.
I was in prison in Bogosha for 7 days, and then they told me that I had to leave. I was expelled from Bogosha also.
That was a Serbian prison?
Yes. And I wanted to go to Ilidza because my mother lives there. I asked my commander how to get there, and he told me that I could go through Stup because it was in our hands. It was Serb territory. So I asked Damjanović to give me a lift to the first Serb barricade because he couldn't go further because his car was stolen. So they took me to the gas station in Rajlovac, and that's where the Bosnian barricade was.
Do you believe that you were set up by the...
Jel misliš da je to bilo namještaljka da su ti?
Da.
I do.
Why do you think they set you up?
Zašto misliš da su ti tako nešto namestili?
Pošto se već bio okretao pred Srba, počeo sam pucat po selu, prije pištoljem, srpskim vojnicima, da sam im digao 2-3 kola.
I was already turning against the Serbs,
Napuštao sam rovove.
threatening Serb soldiers with guns, stealing cars and deserting from trenches.
Were these acts of political opposition, or was it just acts of the case of maybe you get drunk one night and do these things?
Jesi li to radio zato što se nisi slagao sa politikom koju su oni provodili ili zato što bi se recimo napio ili tako nešto?
Razlog je bilo sve. Da se napijem, da je prijedim.
I was already fed up and then I would get drunk and start doing such things.
I only have 2 more questions. The first one is, have you in any way been coerced into making these statements to me, or have you been pressured into making statements on this interview?
Da li si ikada bio pod pritiskom da daješ ovakve izjave? Da li je recimo za ovaj intervju neko vršio pritisak na tebe da daš izjavu ili da daš takvu izjavu?
Nije nikomu dobrovoljno. Toga dajem svima novinara koji su bili dobrovoljno. Nije niko natjerao.
All the interviews that I've given, the one that I'm giving right now, I do it deliberately. I was under no pressure.
Why do you give the interviews?
Zašto daješ intervju?
Da se malo osvijetim, pošto sam ovako ufačen, da sam ufačen s puškom, ne bi bilo krivo. A i da znam strana zemlje, šta radi Karadžić i Srbija, u stvari Srbija radi od jednog naroda. U stvari su ubijali Srbe od Sarajeva, pa ne granate u stanu, pa da ne gleda ko je unutra.
This is my way of getting revenge, because I was caught without gun. And so to show the Western world what's going on here and what Karadžić and Serbia are doing here, because this is all run from Serbia to show what the Serbs are doing and how they are killing people, how they are killing Serbs also, because when the shell hits a flat, it doesn't know if it's a Serb flat or a Muslim.
So you're saying that these interviews are a way of getting revenge because you were set up, which eventually led to your capture by Bosnian forces.
Znači ti daš ove intervjue da bi se osvetio zato što je to bila namještanka i zato što si ti uhapšen.
To i da znam Evropa šta se događa u Bosni.
Yes, that's the reason, and so to show to Europe what's happening in Bosnia.
Pošto jedan vojnik uopće nije ovako priznao, možda se nam nikad saznalo kada se rađeno.
Because no other Serb soldiers have admitted what they've done. I want to tell the truth, what's happening here and what the Serbs are doing to these people.
There's been reports that you have information about General Mackenzie from the UN forces. Is that true that you have some information about his activities?
Bilo je izvještaja da si ti imao neke podatke o Mackenziju, da si ti znao nešto o njegovim kretanjima i o tome šta je on radio, ali to je istina.
Vidio sam ga u ranu u Sonjaku Lović, kad je došao sa svojim terom i 3 vojnika. Letali izdao 4. ujke i stavio transportir i otišao.
Yes, I saw him coming to Serb prison. Sorry, I saw him coming to women prison in Bogošća, Sonja, with his APC and 3 soldiers. I saw them taking 4 women and leaving with them.
Did they leave the complex in the APC?
Jesu li izašli iz Sonje, iz restorana, iz kruga tog zatvora u transporteru sa ženama?
On je još Miro Vuković, Kenzi i Miro Vuković izveo svoje 4 ujke i on je predao ovim vojnicima, uveli transporter, kasnije on sjeo i otišao.
Yes, Mackenzie and Miro Vuković took women out of the prison, put them in an APC, then Mackenzie got into the APC himself and they left.
Do you know what happened after that with General Mackenzie and the women?
Znaš li šta se poslije toga desilo sa Mackenzie i sa tim ženama?
Ne znam.
I don't know.
Sam znam da su dolazili do 12 sati noći u cijeli Betovi janjak. Ovi Mackenzie i Ilidza.
I just know that Mackenzie and some people from Amperfor were coming there and telling some eating.
Like lamb
Lamb
on the spit.
on the spit, yeah. How do you say that?
Could you say that you feel remorse for what happened, for what you did, for the killings and the rapes? Do you feel any kind of remorse whatsoever?
Imaš li grižu savjesti zbog svega što si radio, zbog ubistava, zbog silovanja?
To sam 100 puta rekao danas. Pa to nema ništa.
I do regret doing it. And as I said 100 times, so far, it's too late now.
Kasno se kad čovjek ufačen ili nešto.
It's too late now. I've done it and I've been arrested.
And you have a trial that begins next week, I believe?
Suđenje počinje iduće sedmice, jel?
Da, tako smo rekli, iduće sedmice.
Yes, that's what I was told, next week.
Have you received defense, a defense attorney to represent you?
Imaš li advokata, odbranu?
Imao. Dao smo odavde.
Yes, I have.
And what do you think the outcome of the case will be?
Šta misliš? Kako će se završiti suđenje?
Očekujem dokaz za
I'm expecting a death penalty.
Would you prefer death penalty or would you prefer life imprisonment?
Da li bi više volio da budeš osuđen na smrtnu kaznu ili na doživotnu robiju, na doživotni zatvor?
na smrt? Ako bi bio osuđen na doživotnu ubiju se sam.
If that's the choice, I prefer death penalty, because if I was to spend the rest of my life in prison, I would kill myself.
Have you been in contact with members of your family here in Sarajevo?
Jesi li bio u vezi sa članovima tvoje porodice ovdje u Sarajevu?
Da, dolazim u otac u januar, 8. januara.
Yes, I saw my father on the 8th of January.
What is the feeling of your family about your case?
Kako tvoja porodica gleda na ovaj slučaj?
Majka mi ne liči, a sestra mi je u Beogradu. Odmah ne mogu razmišljati pošto ne znam.
My mother's in Ilidza and my sister's in Belgrade, so I don't know.
Otac mi je rekao da mu on može oprostiti što je on otac, a da će narod teško.
And my father told me that he could forgive me because he's my father, but people can't.
Just one last question. The people in Bosnia and in Croatia who are under siege, under attack by Serbian forces, and who live in villages that are under attack, cities that are under attack, being from a Serbian irregular force before yourself and knowing what happens to the civilian population once they surrender, would you tell those people who are being under attack to surrender to Serbian forces or to continue to fight?
Ljudi širom Bosne i Hercegovine u gradovima koji su pod opsadom i u selima koji su pod opsadom i koji stalno bombarduju. Budući si i sam bio u srpskoj vojsci i znaš šta se dešava kada se ljudi predaju srpskoj vojsci, da li bi im ti preporučio da se predaju ili da nastave da se bore?
Bolje da se nastavi, nego da se predava njemu. To bi preporučio.
My advice would be to keep on fighting, not to surrender.
Do you believe if those people surrendered, the same thing would happen to them?
Jel misliš kada bi se predali da bi im se iste stvari dešavale?
Da, mučenje. Svašta radi, čim ako ufatimo da se preda.
Yes, they would be tortured. Serbian irregulars do awful things to people who they capture or surrender.
Nama su govorili, nas ufate, da se užasne stvari rade od nas. Da nas sjeku prst, glave. Da se žene i djeca bacaju u dolične vrtove. Tamo lavojima i tigovima. I da imaju javne kuće u Sarajevu. Tu usiluju djeca od 12 do 50 godina. Žene, djeca i sve.
We were told if we were to be captured that we would be maltreated. We were told that there are rape camps in Sarajevo where girls from age of 12 and women up to age of 50 are being raped, and Serb soldiers, Serb men are being tortured, their fingers cut off, their heads cut off.
And you yourself are now a prisoner, captured by the Bosnian forces in a Bosnian jail. Have you been mistreated? Have you had your fingers cut off? Anything that you were told? Did anything happen to you like you were told it would happen?
Evo i ti si srpski vojnik koji je zarobljen od strane bosanske vojske i u zatvoru si bosanskom. Da li bi ti rekao da su tebe maltretirali, mučili, jesu li tebi sekli prste, su te na bilo koji način zlostavljali?
Nije niko ništa. Niko nije dotakao.
No one harmed me, no one even touched.
To su bile priče da smo ovo rata.
Those are the stories that we were told to encourage us to fight.
But now,
Da znaju možda ovi srpski vojnici tamo da ovdje ima i srpskih boraca u armiji Bosne-Hercegovine i da se ne radi ovo što je stvar, kako govorite, pola ih se ne borilo pomocom puške.
If Serb soldiers knew the truth, if they knew how many Serbs there are fighting on the Bosnian side and that we are not being treated as they were telling us, I think lots of them would desert